Hey guys, it's me again, and today I wanted to talk about a video game that came out about 3 weeks ago called Arc Raiders. I think pretty much everybody heard about it. Most likely anyone that's watching the video already played it, and I just wanted to share my thoughts and some opinions. The game came out to a massive success. There are some criticisms, some valid, some not, like the likes of Eurogamer disingenuously talking about the game's use of AI, which I think is very scummy. But there are some valid criticisms to be had about the game as well. The monetization, one that comes to my mind, and some minor things that are not super ideal, I think. Some could be better, some definitely could use some polish, I think. And some is just game mechanics, and I don't think there's anything that can be done at this point. But yeah, just for context, I've put about 20 hours into the game so far. I've been playing mostly with friends, sometimes solo, but primarily with friends. My background is mostly FPS shooters. A pretty substantial amount of hours that I've played was also MMOs. But in terms of shooters, I really liked Battlefield series. I literally grew up with Battlefield series, Tarkov, Apex Legends, just to name a few. But when it comes to extraction shooters, I think that's the only one that actually comes to mind is Tarkov, because that's the only one that I honestly, personally consider competent and deep enough where it is engaging and fulfilling with all of its quirks, all of its broken mechanics and optimization issues, all that stuff aside. The game is still, I think, really good. But there are some personal reasons that I don't play it anymore, regarding Nikita and his stance of, I don't want to get political, but it's just not for me anymore. And I love the genre, and I'm really glad that there's more games that are coming out in extraction shooter genre. I know some people say that it's an overused genre. I think it's not really. There's haven't been like any decent extraction shooters that came out that I think of. Delta Force was mid, if not worse. So yeah, there's a bunch of extraction shooters for sure, but Tarkov is at least deep enough in mechanics. For some, it's too hardcore, and I get that. It's a spreadsheet simulator. All the different types of ammunitions, the way they interact with different types of armor. There's so many things you need to take into account when you're going into raid. And not only that, there's medical part of the gameplay that, like, you're probably gonna die a lot of times before you nail it down how to fix yourself up. It's very deep. I really like that, because I really like the attention to details. And it's kind of crazy that I have enjoyed Arc Raiders, because it's kind of the opposite. And I'm going to be talking about that in a video. Some of the things that I think lack in detail, but definitely not the sound or visual department. That's for sure. I think those parts is just, I don't even know this. I don't think that I could name a video game that's done sounds and visuals and the whole ambience and aesthetic better than Arc Raiders. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't remember right now. But there's at least as I know, there's very few titles that nail these things to such a degree like Arc Raiders did. All right, let's start with the visuals. And in that department, like I said, they nailed it. It's just such a breath of fresh air. Everything from the world, how all the maps, the way they're built, the pacing, the robots, everything, the ambience of it all is just incredibly done, I think. The storms, the light, the way the weather changes as well. I mean, it's not at this point, it's not that groundbreaking. It's definitely been done before, but it's still, because of everything else that's been done so great. Even those things that are kind of taken for granted at this point is also done in a very, very good way, I think. They nail down the aesthetic of this broken down scrapyard retro-sci-fi type of look to the game, and I think it works. And for someone that loves synthwave, vaporwave and all that type of aesthetics, this really speaks to me and I really like it. It's definitely going to be a bias, but I think it's I think it's done. They've done a great job. It's amazing. Now, when it comes to sound design, it's also the same thing. Everything, the robots, that you can hear their presence. Players over there, you can feel their presence, especially from the bigger ones. The drones, sometimes you might be overconfident, like, oh, I can take them, they don't seem too threatening, but then they swarm you and then you just realize, okay, I'm kind of screwed here. Yeah, do you see the flare? Should I call him? Oh, sail run.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
You know, it's like the Rocketeer, you know that hunk of metal towering towards you, like slowly flying towards you. It's menacing, and once you actually get wrecked by one, you're definitely going to be taking precautions in how to, I don't know, take it down or actually avoid the fight, and you're going to definitely look into a separate path, not to get shafted by the Rocketeer. Like, overall, the gameplay loop, the gameplay and the core loop, I think is really good, although it can be one thing that I didn't mention about the lighting. One thing that I could say is kind of a negative, in my opinion, is when everything is just so, I don't think cluttered is the word, but when everything is just so visually stunning and all the differences in color, the dust, the smoke and everything, sometimes it is difficult to see whatever is shooting at you, or if you're shooting at someone, you can sometimes lose track of your target because it's just so chaotic and you can just lose your target, and it can mess you up sometimes. But it's definitely not something that I could consider groundbreaking. I think it's fine. I think every good looking game suffers from that, be it Battlefield 6 or any other competent title in these days that looks really nice graphically. Back to the gameplay and core loop. It's kind of what you would expect from an extraction shooter. You bring back loot, you upgrade your hideout, you upgrade your chicken or a rooster, let's say. You do quests and all that type of stuff. But I think where it really shines is the interaction with other players. And the emphasis that the game forces you to team up with the other people. Although this doesn't happen as often if you're playing in pre-made squad, but when you're playing solo, it definitely shines because it's hard and it's not very forgiving in its own way. Like Tarkov is definitely not forgiving. It's in this game, at least if you're getting shot by a player, usually you're gonna have a chance to react and make your play. Often not a very good one, but still you get a chance. In Tarkov, it's just lights out. That's it. You're back to the lobby. But in this game, you have more chances to respond. But when it comes to PvE, it definitely has an incentive for you to team up with other players, because some of the NPCs, the robots, they're really hard to take down alone. I mean, it's possible. I think you can. The majority of them you probably can take on your own. I think the Leaper, the Bastion, the Bombardier, I think those ones are doable in solo for sure. I've almost killed the Bombardier twice and I've killed the Bastion once. But I don't know about the Queen. Never tried it, and not sure that I will anytime soon, unless I have a bunch of people doing that with me. But yeah, it's nice that there's an incentive not to be hostile towards each other. I mean, when you're extracting, maybe you might want to betray your friend and shoot him down and take his loot, his share of loot. But I don't know. I feel like when you're playing solo, there's less of it happening. But yeah, and for sure, I think in the future it can be repetitive because, well, it's a game. They can only you can only introduce so much into an extraction shooter until it becomes, you know, same old thing. You go out, quest, loot, go back, repeat, rinse and repeat. It's a thing where it's not for everyone. Now, what I wanted to talk about, which is definitely something that I disliked the most about the game, is making you purchase more than you need of tokens if you want to purchase, let's say, a skin. I don't think that would have been that much of a problem if visual progression would have been more in depth. And what I mean by that is, I feel like the guns are kind of, I could be wrong. I've only played it for 20 hours. I don't know. Maybe something changes. Let me know down in the comments. But so far, I feel like the guns are more of a background thing. They don't take the center stage in a game where primarily what you're doing, your primary tool is weapons, and they don't really change all that much. There's nothing really to visually, I don't know, hook yourself on. It's just a means to an end. It's just like a tool, nothing much, no personalization of it or proper customization. There's nothing about it. It's just there. Now going back to the monetization, it's definitely frustrating and annoying and disappointing at the same time, where you know what they're doing. They're with the way they force you to purchase 2,400 tokens for, if even though you don't need that much, you just want to buy that one skin, but you cannot buy it because you need to buy either 2 separate packages, which still there's going to be more than you need of the tokens. You're still going to be spending more, and most likely you're just going to buy a 20 euro package. Let's be honest. It's just like so annoying. It's just like such a, in my opinion, such a mobile game tactic. And for such a game that's so brilliantly done, I don't think they need that. That's like, they could have done it in so many ways, and this thing is just, it's dumb. It's just, I don't know. It's definitely pissing me off, and it's really tilting me. Let me buy one skin. Don't force me to buy a bunch of tokens that I don't need for one skin. And it's just, I know I know it works because it just makes the money, but I don't know. It disappointed me to see that. Now, my final thoughts about the game. Well, it's phenomenal. We already established that it's a great game. It looks good. It feels good. The way your character moves, the physics of it all. It's definitely, it immerses you. It definitely pulls you in, and it really feels good to play. The way the character moves, mantles over things, slides. It just feels very fluid and very nice. Now, do I think the game is for everybody? No, I don't think. If you're someone that's more into single player, story driven narrative type of game, then that's definitely not for you. But then again, why would you go into a game that's an extraction shooter and hoping for a storyline? I don't know, but yeah, that's definitely not for you then. But if you enjoy the type of a PvPvE type of a gameplay, it might be actually up your alley. It's definitely unique. Either way, Embark Studios have something really good here, like really strong foundation, and no wonder their plan is to support this game for 10 years from now on, and because it's definitely something, definitely a good title. I'm really looking forward to see where it goes in the future. I kind of excited to see where they go with it. And yeah, I think that would be it for my first impressions. I might make a follow-up video, maybe something more in depth, some kind of a tutorial type of video. We'll see. I don't know if we revisit it, but yeah, so far I've been having a blast. Although it's kind of hard time to balance everything because I've been playing Battlefield 6, now Arc Raiders, and it's definitely not easy to balance two games that are really absorbing a lot of your time. But yeah, have you played it? What do you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments. Definitely helps for all the engagement. Yeah, I think that would be it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next one.